What's going on, everybody? This is Brandon Speck, coming at you. Um, just arrived home. It's been a very difficult and very gut-wrenching day, to say the least. Felt like instead of writing a big long message out on Facebook or on Twitter or any of the big social media sites out there that I'm affiliated with, I thought that I'm going to do something that I normally feel the most comfortable with, which is speaking on camera. This is the first time I've actually done one of these videos in quite some time. Never really liked doing them. But as many of you know who are wrestling fans out there, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, passed away, according to reports today, on the 11th of June 2015. It's for those of us who are around the ages between 30 and even higher, around 60 or so, I would just estimate, and you are pro wrestling fans, you know the name American Dream Dusty Rhodes, and chances are you probably were able to see him perform, either live or through VHS and DVDs over the years through releases or whatnot. I am from South Carolina, Spartanburg specifically, and this is Mid-Atlantic territory, Mid-Atlantic Wrestling territory, and as well as Jim Crockett Promotions territory, basically the same organization. And Dusty Rhodes, throughout the years, in the 1980s, specifically between around 1983 through 1989, really laid a strong foundation in the Carolinas as a singles wrestler and also as a booker slash matchmaker for the territory. And his matches with the Nature Boy Ric Flair are legendary. They set apart anything else that was going on in the business at the time, even the stuff with Hulk Hogan, in my opinion. When in terms of just pure feuds, you'll probably never ever in the history of the business see a flamboyant good guy and a flamboyant heel just face off in promos, or whether it's just the one-upsmanship, real life stuff in terms of their clothes, or if it's just in the ring. Just some great matches, but that feud laid the foundation for Dusty Rhodes in this area of the country. And as a 30-year-old man right now who has been fortunate enough to have seen Dusty Rhodes live, and also see him via commentary at WCW, or just see him in general, and been able to meet him on a couple of occasions, it's very, very sad in my heart to know that he's no longer here with us. As wrestling fans, we go through so much death. I don't think anybody in the world, in terms of an entertainment, platform, or industry, I should say, goes through as much death as pro wrestling fans tend to go through. And it's very, very gut-wrenching when another one of your favorites growing up, your hero, so to speak, pass away. I heard about it at work. It was very devastating just hearing about it. It reminded me when Macho Man Randy Savage passed away back in 2011. I was at work again, and someone brought it up to me, and it's I looked at my phone, and my phone had blown up with text messages and also phone calls that I had missed, and Facebook, of course, just went ballistic on my feed. So. And also with my notifications. So I knew that when I arrived home, I wanted just to verbalize my feelings about Dusty Rhodes, just in a small video format, and just post it so everybody can see. I first met Dusty back in 2009 at the then NWA Wrestling Legends Fan Fest, which are now the Mid-Atlantic Fan Fest, Wrestling Legends Fan Fest. Promoted by the great Price. And I want to say thanks, Greg, a lot. You saw my post on Facebook. I did mention a very big amount of gratitude for bringing Dusty Rhodes to Charlotte for those conventions, which are just phenomenal. And it's so great to be around people who love pro wrestling, whether it be the wrestlers themselves or it's the fans who are really become your family in a lot of ways, because very few people know your feelings toward the business, and those people do. and you meet them around the world. They come to the Charlotte or Atlanta, and you're able to really engulf the industry as a whole with friends. So when Dusty came in 2009, it was just for a vendor. I believe it was RF Video, and I took a picture with him, which was awesome. I still have the original Starcade 1985 VHS cassette, which I had with Dusty Rhodes, the clamshell version, not the very ultra rare one with the color packaging, but this one was just with the pink and also the black packaging. And I took the picture, showed the VHS to Dusty. He just had a big smile on his face. He said, "Thanks, kid, for knowing me. I appreciate the gratitude." And little words like that from a legend like Dusty Rhodes can go a long way for a fan, and for this fan in particular, that was such a cool moment. Back in 2009, my first Fan Fest, and then last year in 2014, I had the privilege of taking a picture with Dusty and sharing a very cool moment with him in a room where he was signing autographs, and also taking some photos with some guests who had paid to have that privilege with him. And just amazing conversation. And although the conversation was no more than about a minute, it meant the world to me, just like I know it would mean the world to a lot of other people who were there, who have met Dusty. Dusty over the years had lost a lot of weight. He looked like he was in really good shape, but this just goes to show you that you have to take every day that you're here on this earth as a privilege and use the most of what you can do with that day, because you don't know what's guaranteed tomorrow or even today. And Dusty Rhodes, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, every day that he lived on this earth, he made a name for himself, whether he was a youth all the way to his time of death. The lives that he impacted in a positive form are uncanny. I'll share one quick story with you. When I was in that room with Dusty and several other people, when he was doing autographs and also taking the photo ops, a very small room in Charlotte, Fantastics member, one half of the Fantastics, Bobby Fulton, brought his kid in the room and just wanted his kid to see Dusty Rhodes, and also wanted to greet Dusty and say thank you for all you did and helped us, me and Tommy Rogers, the late Tommy Rogers. Godspeed, my friend. While they were in Jim Crockett Promotions in the late 80s. And, just the small conversation that those two had, you could see the relationship between booker / promoter and friend and wrestler. And Bobby Fulton thanked Dusty Rhodes, and Dusty Rhodes said, "Thank you very much." One of the first things Dusty said to him, actually the first thing, he said thanks, but he asked him how his family was doing. That's the kind of man Dusty Rhodes was behind the camera. I saw for the first time, and that was just a really, really cool moment. Small moment there to share. Hope, Bobby, you're not mad at me for sharing that moment, but at a time like this, it's really good to see the positive things that people do for you in your life. And Bobby Fulton never forgot all the great things that Dusty Rhodes had helped him do at his time with Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling / Jim Crockett Promotions. So, it's a tough day for all wrestling fans. As I said before, we deal with so much death in this industry. It's ridiculous. But we get through it together. And only we really know the passion and the love we have for the business. And that's one thing Dusty Rhodes always had. He was truly a living, breathing American dream. And from me, my father, who loves the business as well, and all my friends out there in the world who also love the business and like and know of Dusty Rhodes, please say a prayer for his family, and also his colleagues in World Wrestling Entertainment who do currently worked with him at NXT. I'm wearing the Kevin Owens shirt right now, War to Work, and the guy, Kevin Owens, had a very, very poignant message in regards to Dusty's passing. He wanted to, according to Kevin Owens, he wanted to desperately meet up with Dusty Rhodes and tell him thanks for all that he did for him, and he just wasn't able to really meet him in time and make the time to actually do it. And before he was actually able to do it, Dusty had passed away today. So Kevin Owens, I can definitely say for Kevin Owens, tremendous wrestler, and any of the tutelage that Dusty Rhodes had bestowed upon him, I know Kevin Owens is going to continue to impress the masses as the years and the months continue in World Wrestling Entertainment throughout the world. Little stuff like that that Dusty Rhodes did for people will not go unmentioned. It will be something that will live on forever in infamy as long as this earth is still here. Dusty Rhodes was a phenomenal wrestler, a phenomenal personality, and he will live on forever in the hearts and the minds of the people who knew him and the fans who saw him and admire him. So this isn't a ultra special video. No titles attached to it. Just me giving my feelings about the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Rest in peace, my friend. We all will meet again, and I hope that up in the heavens, you're giving one of those classic Dusty Rhodes promos, especially for anybody that might be suffering through hard times right now. Godspeed, Dusty Rhodes. Rest in peace.